Okay guys, welcome back. I want to show you how I made this cute little light. Now the top isn't glued on yet because I haven't decided what I'm doing for the shade, but this is just one of these little jewelry accents, and I cut it around here on each piece. So like you see how this one is, I would have cut in between each one of these. And then I just bent them and molded them to fit. I'm undecided if I'm going to use this as a shade or not, but I thought this turned out pretty cool. And the base is flat. And the wire is recessed. And how I did it was pretty easy actually. Okay, so the very first thing I had to do is get some of these little light bulb covers. They sell these at the local craft department, and these are those things that go into those letters that light up. They're usually metal or they're wooden, and they go right inside of it and they light up. If you notice, the bottom of this is round, but the bottom of this is flat. See if you can see that. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I made the bottom of this flat. It's the same exact bulb, or I should say bulb cover. Now, if you're going to try this at home, you need to be extremely cautious, and you probably should work in a well-ventilated area and wear a chemical mask and not do it inside your house because plastic fumes can be toxic. Now the very first thing I did was I took a lighter, and I wouldn't recommend you doing this if you are not an adult. I actually heated up the bottom of this just a little bit, very, very lightly. After I did that, then I pressed it on my table. And it flattens the bottom. Now again, wear a chemical mask and work in a well-ventilated area, and children, don't try this at home. You can also use a cookie sheet when you're doing it too if you don't have a glass table that's heat resistant. And if you didn't get it quite enough, it's okay, you can do it again. Try to keep it level. Like that one I just did crooked, so I have to straighten that back up. Okay, so this one is not done, and this one is, and this one is. Now look what happens to the one that's not done. It does not stand up. Sorry, you lost focus. Okay, so these two are done. This one is not. See how it just rolls over? Okay, so the next step is to take a drill bit, put it in your drill, and you are going to drill a hole through it. Again, be very cautious, go slowly. You don't want to get hurt. Okay. So it's drilled through completely. As you can see, there's a hole in the bottom. And watch it, the drill bit tip is hot. Okay, now the next thing is you have to make room for that wire to sit, so when you set it down, it doesn't get in the way. It sits down and below that, so that way it stands up. How I did that was, I went in the same hole, started on an angle, and then I slowly worked myself flat. Careful not to hit your fingers, because this will hurt you if it touches you. You want to go until your drill bit is reset just so much. Okay. Now if you look at the wire, it should fit right down in there and should not be above. But that's all you do. Then you want to get yourself a pack of these lights. I bought these at Hobby Lobby, but you can buy them online. Alright, the bottom of these pull out just like this. And then when you pull it out, you have 2 pieces of wire. They sell little kits for these to plug into if you want to plug them into them. I'm just going to hardwire them to my actual dollhouse. Okay, once you have that, twist this together just a little bit so that you can fit it through there. And then pull it down in. And these lights fit almost perfectly in this hole. Okay, and voila, you're done. And the only thing next for you to do is to have a light with a working light bulb and to wire it to your dollhouse. So, there it is. It's in there. I'm going to bend my wire just a little bit to help it stay flat because I'm not gluing it at this point. But there you have it. A working light. And all you have to do, if you want to have this where you are going to plug it in using the little plugs as opposed to soldering it to your dollhouse to put it back together, I'll show you real quick. Twist these around just a little bit. Okay, you're going to slide them both back up through the bottom, which is actually the plug part. Okay. Just like that. And then you want to put this down inside. Take one of your plugs, push it down in there, and then tap it in place. Okay. Now you're going to do the same exact thing with the other one. I'm actually going to take some of that wire off. And I'm going to actually twist this together because some of that looks like it broke off a little bit and it wasn't much in there. Okay, now your lampshades, I've noticed on Pinterest there are tons and tons of printable lampshades. You could do those, or you could do one of these little jewelry pieces. I got that little set for $1.50 at Hobby Lobby. It was originally $2.99. Okay, again, to put the other one in. put it in there, and then I just take the back of the pliers and tap it in place because I just don't have the strength in my hands to push that through there like that. Okay, and then you just pull it through, and there you have it. And then you can just use it as a working light bulb. Okay, now these aren't LEDs like the rest of my house, but that does work. Okay, so you have two of these little plug lights. Cord's pulling it over, it's too heavy. All right, just like that. You can do a little metal shade, you can do a paper shade, you can do pretty much any kind of shade that you would like with it, and go from there. Okay, now if you do want to use the LEDs like this, you are going to have to get a bigger drill bit. Drill the hole exactly the same way, and then you put it in there, and then again the two wires will lay flat, and then you'll wire these two to your dollhouse instead of the white line wires. However, note that the difference between the inside is all black on here, so if you don't want to see black in there, you're going to have to paint these, and there's a tutorial on how to paint the wires. So you can just, you know, paint them whatever color you want the inside to be. Okay, so that's kind of what it would look like wired with the LED. I just don't have enough hands to do it all for you, but you could glue the light to it the same way. You can see the difference in the size hole on the bottom. But they both work basically the same way, except for your wiring them slightly different. This kind will allow you to plug it in to the little strips that they pre-sell, or you can hardwire it like this. All right, well, you can also take and do, if you're doing the LED, you could do beads of some sort and decorate it up a little bit before you put it in there. So that's an option, because you don't have that base that you have to fit inside like you do here. Like how you have that little base there. So you can do like a little bead instead if you want it to be a little bit taller. And you can use a clear bead, or you can use a white bead, silver bead, decorative bead like this if you like. Pretty much anything, options are open, but I just wanted to give you an idea how to make some lights and go from there. All right, thanks a lot, and I hope this tutorial helped you. And remember, if you're going to try this at home, to be extremely cautious and make sure you're working in a well-ventilated area and using a chemical mask. And this wire wants to keep tipping it over. And also note that when you're doing it, you have to train your wires to stay in place because they've been rolled up in a little ball when you buy them. And if you can't get your wire to stay in place, you might want to tape it for a day or two until it does. But again, just be very careful and enjoy this DIY. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. And follow Dollhouse Miniature Madness and Tutorials on Facebook. And also you can follow Lori Holden Heisler on Pinterest. I have tons of pens on there. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.